You're welcome to the spot, you know the truth is here. Bronx tales on a beat, we see it clear. All the cases, all the shadows, we break it down. Pull up a seat, join the fam in this town. Every story matters, every voice you bring. We don't just talk the talk, we let the facts sing. Logan and Bronx, yeah, they lead the way. Shining light in the dark every single day. Yeah. Curiosity welcome, questions never wrong. Here you belong, it's a family strong. From cold cases to the ones unsolved. Together we uncover, together we evolve. No gossip, no rumors, we keep it real. Every detail matters, every clue you feel. We vibe, we learn, we investigate. Bronx tales, true crime, let's elevate. Stay with us every night and day. We uncover the truth in our own way. Come here, let your mind explore. Bronx tales, true crime, always more in store. Yeah, welcome home. Yeah, you're never alone.
Welcome to the Dog Pound. Happy Monday, everybody. How are you? Hey, Bianca, my Mandy, my bestie, Pokey girl. We've got Christine in the house and Gulf Coast Bum, Kellyanne, Thrive. How are you? Four Hens makes an appearance. Who else we got in here already joining early? I appreciate you guys for being here. What do you guys think of this Guthrie case? I got to tell you, I thought that this would not last this long. I thought it for sure would be, something would happen, within the 3 to 4 day period. And then I thought for sure something during the Super Bowl. And now here we are. Very, very strange stuff is going on. So we're going to talk about some of it. Don't worry, you will get your dose of Idaho for today. It will just be later on Crimes After Dark. We will be talking about Idaho tonight. So we're going to do Guthrie over here right now just because it is now 46 minutes past the deadline of the $6 million ransom. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that we've got going on thus far. Everything is alleged in our opinion only. I hope everybody is having a wonderful start to your week. Hi, Lizzie. How are you? I'm not sure what I think is going on yet either. I think it's strange. I have a lot of opinion, obviously, mostly speculation, because they're not really giving us much to work with as far as information. Only what we can really see as far as what they've given us so far, statements, digging into the words they use, maybe some of their body language or breathing during those statements, as well as what we see as far as JLR being live, which is great to have him out there. He's nonstop out there, and that's excellent. So we're just going to take a look, kind of rewind, go back to the beginning. I know it was only a week ago, but could you imagine it being your mother and 8 days being so long? I wish something would have happened on Thursday when they gave the first deadline for the ransom and nothing happened. And I don't know if it was at fault of the Guthries or if the ransom people never reached back out and told them what to do, or what happened truly there. But I would have liked to see something happen at that time. It looks like they might be setting up for some sort of press conference or maybe not. Maybe it's just video crews and things like that. I would have liked to have seen some sort of press conference already. Strange. There's a lot of strange things I'm noticing that I'm sure you guys are noticing as well, because they're odd. On topic, starting off the show with a turn on and on. Thank you so much, dear. We appreciate you very, very much. Thank you. Interesting. Star says, where is Annie's son? Perhaps he knows something. I'm always interested in, obviously, the main thing you do when something happens to somebody like this is you start inward and you look in their immediate circle, who's closest and who would benefit, and then you move outward. So a close family member like a son, I would like to know things about these people. You know, are they tech savvy? Is it somebody who would be able to do an encrypted email with a ransom type thing? I tell ya, I'm not tech savvy, but I would think it's 2026 and the FBI would be able to crack something like that. It's not the 1960s with the Zodiac killer sending handwritten letters with, cutouts of magazines on a piece of paper to the news station. They're asking for ransoms. I know they are sending it to like TMZ and things like that, but from my understanding, they would have to send the ransom money through Bitcoin, which is hard to track sometimes, but I would think the FBI at this point in 2026 would be able to track it, trace it, something. There's a lot of strange things going on this case. So I want to go back to the first statement just so we can look at some body language, specifically some breathing I noticed. I'm going to share my screeny. Whoops. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, let me get rid of this one. There we go. All right, now we can share. Oh, deadline is in 11 minutes. I was thinking my time, so deadline is in 11 minutes. So, Mountain time. Good to know, good to know. Let's see here. Here we go. Let's look at this one. I want to see if, are you going to share or not? My goodness. It's thinking. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate that. Carol says you rocked out on the live last night. I joined last night on Crimes After Dark over on DA's channel. I don't necessarily usually do like Saturdays and Sundays. I do like to give myself a little bit of a break, but I was really interested yesterday in the Cobain stuff and what you guys, if you joined in last night, what you guys saw as far as my reaction to the Cobain letter. That was the first time I've ever read it in full. I've ever looked at the handwriting in depth. I've ever spoke about it. I've never heard other people speak on that letter. So what you saw last night was a very raw reaction, my first reaction to ever seeing it, reading it, looking into it. It's been a case that is hard for me to talk about for some reason. I always felt really emotionally connected to it for some reason. So I never let myself really dig into that case or look at it or anything. So when we talk about Cobain on Sundays, you guys are getting very raw stuff from me because I have never looked into it. So I appreciate that, Carol. Thank you very, very, very much. For some reason, it is not letting me share this screen. So let me delete some of this stuff and see if we can get it on there. I don't know what's going on over here, guys. It's not letting me share. Let's try this. There we go. All right. My audio for sure will be fixed tomorrow. I'll be on the phone with IT in the morning tomorrow to fix it. So hopefully you guys can hear this today. If not, everything will be fixed tomorrow, so we won't have to worry about it anymore. But let's go back to the first statement. I want you guys to pay attention to Annie's breathing, blinking, and body language. Specifically, like tightness maybe in her shoulders, her chest. Let me play.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them. And we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that...
Annie is doing very deep breathing. Now, everything's alleged in our opinion. I am not saying she's a suspect at all. I'm just strictly looking at her body language, her breathing, and her blink rate at times. When Savannah is speaking specifically about things, her blink rate gets really fast. Really fast.
Adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
Talk to her and you'll see. We've heard that before in other cases, and that statement is meant to try and make the people that kidnapped her view her as human, trying to get them to talk to her to see that she is human. That's what that statement comes from, and it's very old.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day. Despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief, we are always going to be merely human.
Do you see when Savannah talks how Annie doesn't really show much, but when Annie talks, Savannah is really embracing what she's saying with lots of emotion. She's nodding, she's sniffling, she's deep breathing, she's almost sighing sometimes, like in a just like raw emotion, it seems like. And, you know, people are different. Everybody's different. But Annie's just not showing the same thing. And I'm not saying she's the suspect. But like you guys mentioned just a few minutes ago, is maybe her son a suspect? Somebody who would know their habits, know the house.
Just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
I personally haven't seen one tear drop from Annie's face yet, so I find that interesting as well.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health...
Deep breathing. Very deep sigh for her.
Her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive.
Huge eyebrow lift right there. When she said she's in constant pain, she needs her medicine, there was a big eyebrow lift from Annie. We're not getting anything from the brother.
She needs it not to suffer.
That was a weird twitchy thing in Annie's eye, it looked like. It's hard to say if she's just not as emotional or what she's feeling or thinking, but she's just very plain-faced, no emotion, no tears. We hear actual sniffling from Savannah, so she's actually upset and getting the waterworks going for, you know, snot in her nose to activate and things like that. You know, you can't fake that. I mean, you can fake it if you're an actress type thing and you know how to do that, but which Savannah is on TV, so maybe she knows how. I just feel like her emotions are natural and raw and honest. I'm not sure what to think of Annie. I'm not sure.
We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can.
Another deep breath from Annie, and she just had lots of blinking going on. And if you don't know, lots of blinking is a sign of stress. She's thinking of something that is stressing her out, and she's trying to not show it or put on an act or something along those lines. Again, that's just my opinion.
We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Mommy?
Another deep breath after please reach. There's a lot of deep breaths from Annie, a lot of them, which we don't often see that in these situations. You might see one or two, but it's almost like she's forcefully doing them. It's very strange. Yeah, I don't get the same feeling from Annie that I do from Savannah at all. And I don't get much from the brother either. I think he came out and said like maybe one or two things on his own, but I don't necessarily get that eerie feeling from him either. I don't know what it is about Annie. And I don't know if that's because subconsciously we already know that they did look in her house, so they thought something went in that direction initially. And that's what's making us think that. It's just her behavior is just so much different than Savannah's. And I would think because they are related, they would be somewhat similar. I know they're different people, but still the polar opposite reactions and emotions we're getting from them is off to me.
If you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you.
Annie does a lot of bringing her lips inside of her mouth, almost like you're going to pat your lipstick, but she keeps them in there for a second. A lot of times in body language, that's a sign of you knowing the truth and not speaking it, that you're lying because you're not coming out and saying the truth. So you're sucking in your lips to physically, it's like a reaction of physically holding back what you need to say, but you know you're not actually going to say it, right? It's just a mental thing. And a lot of times sucking in your lips, covering your lips, things with your lips show that you know the truth and you know you can't speak on it.
Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again.
Oh, you did do Anonymous. Cool. So Anonymous does tarot readings and things like that. Anonymous says, when I asked if Nancy is still alive, I got strength in reverse. So I'm assuming like a weakness or a death, possibly. And a 10 of Swords, which is the death of a situation or a relationship. Not looking good. Very interesting. Thank you so much for that input.
We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We love you, Mom. We love you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey.
I don't know. I don't know how other people say that, how they say the words "I love you" to people. If you said, or if you looked at Savannah, she said, "I love you, Mom. We love you, Mom." And Annie said, "Love you." I don't know why. To me, it is important to put the I in there. If you don't make the full statement, to me, it doesn't mean as much. That's just a personal thing for me, though. So I don't know if it's telling with that or not, but it very well could be. There's a lot of things I want to talk about as far as what we've gotten from the FBI, what we don't have from the FBI, and I want you guys to definitely chime in. I want to hear all of your thoughts, opinions, even speculation, what you think happened, where you think she's at, anything. Give it to me. I want to hear it. So initially, my thought was, they told us Nancy went in through the garage, exits through the garage. So the fact that there is her blood on the front step and it looks like gravity drops and then maybe an aspirated, like a cough or a spit type of pattern, whether that's purposely put there or was actually put there, naturally, organically from Nancy, I don't know. But my thought was, if Nancy normally uses the garage, then these people using the front door would show that maybe they don't know her every move, or they do, and they're purposely trying to throw people off to make it look like they don't know her every move. I would think to pull something off like this, you would have to have some knowledge, previous knowledge, have watched her or been watching her, or be close enough to know her habits, to know she was going to be home that night, to know at what time she would likely be in a deep sleep and completely disarmed and unexpecting. What I do find strange, and maybe we just haven't gotten it yet from the FBI, which in itself is strange to me, where are the vehicles that drove in there that night or left with her? We don't have a description. We don't have talks of a vehicle, nothing. How would they get there? And then how would they leave with her? Part of me feels like she's really close. I don't like that. Oh, Bianca, that's so sweet. Thank you. Bianca gifted 5 memberships. We got Hot Pie Gravy, Murderino, Jughead Jones, Mary Don't Be a Douchebag. I love that name. And Sinksy. Yay, everybody's got Turtle. Congrats to the turtles, and thank you, Bianca, for the turtles. We love it. We love it. Oh, so they didn't use, James says they didn't use the front door. It was locked. Was it locked behind them, though? Or are you thinking maybe the blood was staged? Because I think that's a huge possibility that the blood was staged. She very well could be alive and well out there somewhere, and this really is a ransom. We're 7 minutes past the deadline, so I'm curious to see, hey, 1-1, what's going to pop off here in the next hour or so. Bronx is taking a nap, actually. He's been kind of whiny today. He wanted to go out like 100 times earlier. You think it's staged? I think a lot of people are starting to think that. Part of the reason I feel like there's something odd going on here, we see a lot of walking around and almost make sure you look busy from the FBI. But what have we really gotten from them? They are literally out there, and I'm going to share this just so you can have a visual. They're literally out there putting a dang stick in the septic tank. Why are we not using cameras? Why are we not using plumbing cameras or cameras in every nook and cranny everywhere? You only get one shot to have a first time, a first go around of looking at a crime scene for the first time. Anything after that, now you've got footprints of officers and, people in and out, and things are disturbed and maybe moved or picked up and looked at or whatever. You get one shot for the first go around of looking at a crime scene or investigating that crime scene. They should have never torn it down. They had to turn around and then put it back up. They should have never torn it down. What would be the point of turning it down? You don't have the person back. So why not, just for safety precautions, keep it up? They are literally shoving a long pole or a stick looking thing into the dang septic tank. Why are we not using cameras? That's what I was going to say next, Lizzie. Thank you. Why have we not seen cadaver dogs? Scent dogs? Are you kidding me? It's day 8. And they're just now getting around to searching some of this stuff? What have they been doing with their time? It's almost like, to me, I'm seeing, that stay busy, make sure you look like you're working, but I don't see much of anything being done. Forehand says, and did Annie's house have a septic lid and tank too that they could be looking into? Why are we not using cameras for these things? Absolutely. One says, but the sheriff messed up. It should have been kept a crime scene at all costs. Absolutely. You don't have an answer. You don't have a person. You don't have a lead. Why would you take it down? It's now day 8. I understand completely keeping things close to the vest to hold up the integrity of an investigation. Trust me, I get it. But at what point is it time to let the public, millions and millions of people who are paying attention to this case that live in the area, to have eyes and ears and feet on the ground looking at everything? Give us some information. Give the locals some information so people can be looking. Why have they not done a grid search? I don't know what is going on, but I don't see a whole lot of anything going on. Yeah, now Cash Patel, like Christina says, is supposed to be there by now. Is he there? I always feel like when he shows up, something's amiss. Ish is not freaking right if he's there. He creeps me out. I can't even begin to tell you how much he creeps me out. I don't know what it is about him. It could just be his glare altogether. But so we played the first one. Now let's go ahead and play the second one, just so we're going in a row here and keeping everything legit. And then I'll share some of JLR's live in the background, just so we don't miss anything in case it does happen. Here we go.
Of Nancy Guthrie.
The 84-year-old mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie was taken from her Tucson, Arizona home 7 days ago. KTLA's Chip Yost is live in Tucson with the latest developments tonight. Hi, Chip.
Yeah, hello there. We are going on almost exactly a week since Nancy Guthrie was last seen alive. She was last seen last Saturday night going into her Tucson home here. She hasn't been seen since, and now it seems things have reached a new level. Her children reaching out to the possible kidnapper or kidnappers, saying they will pay a ransom to get her back.
We received your message and we understand.
Oh, look, now we have squinty eyes and almost like a, damn, I didn't look good in the first one. Let me spruce it up a little bit,
We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her.
What in the world was that? Did you guys see that change of face emotion real quick? I was almost looking for a duping delight for a second. That's where I thought those lips were going. That is a very forced, fake, I have a pitiful face, in my opinion.
This is the only way we will have peace.
I like her glasses, though.
This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
What is that? Is that almost a duping delight we're seeing? You know, if Nancy is never found, people will be analyzing these videos for the rest of our lives. Like, I feel like this is history, you know, part of our true crime history. We're living it right now. Who would have the balls to take a famous, pretty much famous, I would say Savannah's famous, well-known, famous person, their parent? They skipped all the houses before Nancy's house. This was targeted. This was deliberate. They knew who they were taking, and they knew who they were taking because they knew how much money they could get out of it. I do feel like it's for money. But it would have to be somebody who knows that. So that tells us probably somebody close.
Now, that message followed a flurry of activity here at the home yesterday. Here's a little bit of what happened in the 24 hours before that message was sent out.
1-1 says 41 minutes is a long time for a home invasion robbery. You get in, you get out. 41 minutes is a long time, especially long time for people to not take anything but the person. What were they doing for 41 minutes? Think of a 41-minute conversation, a 41-minute wait in the doctor's office. Like, that's a long time. What were they doing? It's almost like it was somebody she knew and they were there, so she was talking to them, and maybe they were getting up the nerve to do what they needed to do. That's why I feel like it was somebody she knew, because of the time it took, rather than get in and get out. That's a lot of time.
Friday, an SUV that had been in Nancy Guthrie's garage all week was towed away by investigators. It happened shortly after Pima County Sheriff's deputies and FBI agents suddenly returned to the scene, shut down the street, and moved the media out of the area. That happened around the same time that the FBI put out a statement regarding a new message from someone claiming to be involved in Guthrie's kidnapping. The statement said, the FBI and Pima County Sheriff's Department are aware of a new message regarding Nancy Guthrie. Investigators are actively inspecting the information provided in the message for its authenticity. According to local CBS affiliate KOLD, the new message was sent to them. An anchor for the station said in an X post that it appears the sender used the same type of secure server to hide their IP address, and that the new note contains something the sender seems to think will prove to investigators they're the same people who sent the first note. News Nation's Elizabeth Vargas spoke to KOLD's news director.
No, we are not calling this a ransom note. I'm not sure if that's why the FBI is not calling it a ransom note, but we are calling it a message because no further demands were made.
Did the message offer any way for the Guthrie family to communicate?
No.
We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive.
And that appears to be why Savannah Guthrie and her siblings have sent videos.
I find it really strange that they're asking for a ransom, but it sounds like they're not really communicating very much, which you would think would be the opposite. I want this money. Hurry up and give me this money so I can get this lady off my hands. I don't want to have this lady longer than I need to have her, right? That's not the point. If you're in it for the money, that's not the point. The point is to get the money as fast as you can without being traced. You don't want to have to lug around an 85-year-old woman and keep her quiet and keep her, you know what I mean? Unless, of course, she's not alive anymore. But yeah, I feel like a lot of things have been missed. I feel like, I feel like a lot of things have been missed. Like you guys said, you get one chance. When they didn't come back with a response right away for the Thursday deadline, I found that really strange. Why would you want your kidnapped victim, who is way out of the age range for normal kidnap victims, you don't want to have her around you longer than necessary. You want that money just like you want to get in that house, get what you need and get out. These time frames of how long they were in the house, how long they've had her for, all sorts of stuff are just too long for my liking. That's why it seems not like a true kidnapping or a true ransom or a true message. I don't know why they're calling it that. Just call it what it is. Stop being vague. Stop being secretive. At this point, it's 8 days in. Give the public some information so we can get out there and search. Unless, of course, you don't want us to have it because there's something else going on. Oh, interesting. Bianca says, or worse, or a cover up for something worse, like trafficking of Super Bowl weekend. That's an interesting thought too. The timing of it being Super Bowl. Huh. That's interesting. What do you guys think as far as the location of Nancy? We haven't heard anything about anybody coming in or any vehicles, any people on foot, anything coming in or leaving. Super strange. So Eric says the son-in-law is sus, and I see a lot of people saying that they want to know more on Annie's son, so Nancy's grandson, which I feel like would be a very good person to look at. And I'm curious, that's another thing too, is why have you not hooked up every single one of these people to a lie detector test? I get that they're not admissible in court, but they could give you some sort of direction just for your own knowledge as far as what direction to head in or go in. So we've got no lie detectors. We've got no searches being done in a timely manner. We're not using cameras of any sort. We have no dogs. We've got no grid searches. I mean, what are they doing? What is going on here? This is very odd. Somebody close has to be involved. So Jolie thinks that Annie looks like she's on the verge of a breakdown. It's so sad. Now, I also understand that some people might think that Annie's not involved and that her reactions are just her reactions, which is possible too. You know, it's hard to also, as somebody who has my voice on the internet, I don't want to say anything that's hurtful or harmful either. That's not the point of doing this. The point is to just talk about what the heck is going on and see if we can, as a group, collectively come up with any sort of answers or speculation that could lead us somewhere, things that people haven't thought of, or, you know, and I think it was one who might have said, and I could be wrong, about the Apple Watch. You know, her Apple Watch was left there. Her phone was left there. Whoever was in there knew about these things. We don't know that Nancy was wearing her Apple Watch in that moment. Or would that be something that would be overlooked by somebody initially? Taken her with and then been like, oh, dang crap, she's got an Apple Watch on. We got to throw that out the window. Stuff like that happens. You would think if it's a spur of the moment thing, like I've been watching this lady for a few days. I know her habits well enough to go in. I need this money. I need this money ASAP. Some things could be overlooked if you're doing it super quick and in a hurry. But it doesn't sound like that's what happened. They took their time in there. 41 minutes is a long time. Another thing is them initially going pretty much straight to Annie's house. I'm so curious what lead they had to take them there as opposed to a neighbor's house or anybody else's house, an Airbnb across the street. What was it that took them straight to Annie's house immediately? Very curious. She took her Apple Watch off to go to bed. Yep. Very good point. Very, very good point. I'm just like speculating here. I know there's been plenty of times I've fallen asleep with my Apple Watch on or whatever, but those are things that a kidnapper would have to pay attention to. Now, I also want to talk about the amount. What do you guys think of $6 million? Is it $6 million because one person needs $6 million? Is it 3 people and they each get 2? Is it 2 people and they each get 3? You know what I mean? What's the significance with the amount? What could that be for? I'm going to go ahead and play some JLR in the background. Just in case something happens, we can catch it live. We'll see. We'll give it a few minutes and let him say what's going on real quick.
Deadline passed. We don't know if a ransom has been made. We don't know.
We don't know if a ransom has been made, and at what point will we find out? I feel like the communication with the public is strangely not there at all. No press conferences, they're not giving us, as the public, any information. I don't feel like they're doing very much.
Oh, yeah?
Put my number in your phone.
Sure, yeah. Call your...
Pumpkin says, how did they receive that message? Was it just in the mail? From my understanding, whoever is sending these messages is sending them through like news outlet sources like TMZ and things like that. And that's why I keep saying, like, this is not the 1960s and the Zodiac person, right? It worked in the 60s. I don't understand how that works in 26. And then I don't understand how it goes completely untraceable. Trust me, I get Bitcoin. I get the encryption, I get all that. I just feel like, isn't FBI, don't they have tools that are 10 steps ahead of criminals that they can unencrypt or figure out where they're coming from or where it's going, even with Bitcoin? I don't know.
He took your name?
Yeah.
He did? Probably ran your name.
I agree. I feel like this is
I'm
an
gonna
absolute
go down here,
joke.
take some pictures in a minute, and see how the crowds are.
See what it looks like.
These people out here, these reporters and JLR, are literally, in my opinion, doing more work than any of these officers. Nobody has pulled out a scent dog and walked it around that I've seen. Now I'm still digging into Idaho stuff, and I'm looking at Kurt Cobain stuff and looking into the Delphi appeal and all sorts of stuff, and this one, things like that. So I'm just one person. I do have to work all day. So I'm not necessarily getting the news right when it happens, in that moment. But I haven't seen a scent dog. I haven't seen a grid search. Thrive Off Grid says electronics comms are really dumb for a criminal. Good old-fashioned typed letter is far less traceable. That's what I would think. I get that. But then they're asking for $6 million in Bitcoin, which I personally would think the FBI at somehow, some way would be able to trace. Somehow, some way. It's the FBI. I don't know how to trace it. I don't really know how the nitty gritty dark web type stuff works. But I would think the FBI does. I mean, they get people with kitty icky all the time, and they do it that way. And that's how they trade money. Look at Stephen Stearns. They got his stuff.
Night. We're gonna go for a walk.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Nothing. While you're walking around and waiting for probably gonna head home here soon. You taking off already or what?
Michelle says everything should have been searched at the beginning, not a freaking week later. Wild. Isn't that wild? I mean, I would expect better for a regular, degular, everyday citizen, right? But this is Savannah Guthrie, who is on USA Today or whatever show she's on every single day. She's well known. So I would expect everybody to be treated the same, but we know that that's not how it works. I would expect somebody like Savannah Guthrie's mom to have things done correctly and quickly and right off the bat and immediately, and not searching a septic tank a week later. It's now 8 days in, we're past the ransom deadline, and we haven't even had a scent dog. And I'm really stuck on that, guys. Really stuck on that. At what point are we going to get the information as far as how the people got in there and how they got out and got out with her and what they were driving, or were they walking or whatever? I mean, you can't tell me that there's not one house in that neighborhood that doesn't have a Ring camera. I'm sure there's at least a few that have Ring cameras or Nest or whatever they are and caught something. I mean, this looks like a really nice neighborhood in the foot of the mountains. Hi, JJ. How are you? Good to see you.
Alex is leaving. You have a good night, sir. Be safe. Nice to see you.
Oh, Pumpkin. Oh, my goodness. Pumpkin says that one daughter sounds like Erica Kirk. Same vibe, too. Oh, Erica Kirk creeps me out. Hey, does anybody know, was it just a rumor that Erica Kirk is pregnant? Is she or is she not? I'm very curious about that. I can't watch anything on Erica Kirk. She drives me nutso. I just can't. She is the creepiest thing ever to me. That is hot pie. You're so right. The fact that they closed, opened, then reopened the crime scene is terrible. Terrible. You get one shot. One. I think that they're hopeful that she's still alive, but like they've all said, she needs medication that she has to have every single day, and who knows how long she can live without it. Who knows how long she can live with it, but in a terrible situation like she's in with a pacemaker. And we know the pacemaker disconnected. It doesn't mean it stops working. It just stops sending signal to the doctor to let the doctor know if the heart is okay or not. I was just thinking, I wonder, they don't have like any sort of backup anything for a pacemaker? It has to be connected to that device to show. How did they do pacemakers back in the day? I don't know. I don't know much about pacemakers, to be honest. I do know that I think pacemaker, the doctor doesn't get the information like right then and there. I think it's like a 24-hour waiting period in between what's happening with the heart and the doctor getting the information. It's like 24 hours or something like that. False Star says, Logan, she needed the the needed medicine could have been a bargaining thing too. Yeah, it very well could have been. Yep. Whoops. Pokey says, I guess the neighbor there walks over to speak to the sheriff because there's camera equipment on her yard. Come on, lady, be a good neighbor. It's so funny you say that. I was talking to my mom yesterday and I was like, look, I get that people want to film. I get the whole draw of crime and things like that and getting the information out, because without these people, we wouldn't have it, right? Without JLR, we wouldn't have much of anything. But I have to be honest, if there were reporters all over in front of my yard or my driveway or my street, I would have a really tough time walking my dog because he'd be so excited he wouldn't even go to the bathroom. He'd be wanting to lick everybody. So I'm like, I get the... But other than that, it wouldn't bother me at all. I would just need to be able to walk my dog, and quickly, because I have to work. So I get in a sense people being irritated by it. But if you're just in, I mean, I haven't seen the neighbor really at all. So it's not like the kids are trying to play outside and they're irritated that their kid might be on camera or something like that. You know, if you're inside and it's not really doing anything, what's the problem? But yeah, I'd have to walk Bronx and he'd be really excited. So that part would irritate me. Other than that, I wouldn't care. But then I was also like, I would be the annoying neighbor saying like, could you guys just move so I can walk my dang dog? Hello, Accessible Gardening. Thank you for becoming a member. We appreciate you so much. Don't forget, guys, I think it should be the last week of February. We're going to do another members giveaway. Members only giveaway. Must be present and in the chat to win. What we got going on? Still not a dang thing over here. What would you guys do if this was your mom? What would you guys do? Because, listen, if I was Annie and this was my mom and they're checking my house, I would be like, yes, do whatever you have to do, but get the F out and go search for my mom because she's not here. I don't have shit to do with it. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't, if I had a son that was that age and could possibly have done or had friends that knew enough to do something like that, I'd be like, go look at him, man. What's he saying?
Stay off my property. She started going through her property on the woods. She's telling her, get off my property. If you come back on the property, I will call police.
Okay, so I do understand that. Don't go in people's backyards and stuff. You know, you don't know what kind of dog they have that might be protecting their house, things like that. But don't go on people's property. I get that. But no, I feel ya. Telling calling trespassing and things like that. I mean, why are we calling trespassing? The officers are out there. They know that the people are out there. They see it. These officers know these people are out there. You don't have to call for trespassing, lady. Bianca, 1 membership, turtle. And we've got my Scream name, who received the turtle gift. Thank you, Bianca. So sweet. Pumpkin says, I would be scared to death if this was my mom. I don't even know what I would be doing. I mean, how terrifying. How absolutely terrifying. But I tell you what I won't be doing. I won't be quiet. That's what I won't be doing. I'll be the loudest person on the block, and I'll be telling the FBI, go tell everybody in the whole world to open their eyes, come here and look. Bring a dog, do a grid search. Everybody out here, let's hold hands and walk. Let's search for any piece of evidence that could have been thrown out when they took her out. I'm curious if the Guthries even know, you know, Savannah or Annie. I wonder if they know what vehicles were in the area that night or left at the time Nancy would have been taken out of there, if she was taken out of there. Something tells me I feel like she's right under their noses somewhere. I feel like she's close, and somebody that knows the family is involved. Michelle says, if Nancy hopefully is still alive, I would have thought it has to be someone who knows her medication. It has to be someone who knows enough, who knows the cameras, who knows the Apple Watch, who knows the phone, and I don't mean like knows the phone, just that she didn't have it in her pocket or didn't have somebody that was coming over or watching her, that didn't have cameras inside her house where her kids could have viewed. Somebody that knew possibly the cameras didn't have a subscription to record and send videos and emails to other family members. It's somebody that knows enough. So it's somebody that's close enough. Oh, I don't know. Oh, yeah, I'd absolutely take my mom's place in a heartbeat. No questions asked. Bianca says, I'd go hard for my mom and would take her place in a heartbeat. Yes, ma'am. I agree, Last 24. Last 24 says, you'd think they'd do a grid search considering the terrain, but I don't know. Sheet. I agree. You would think that, I would think sniffing dogs first. Let's get a scent. Have the Guthries even been asked to produce a piece of Nancy's clothing or anything that would have her scent on her to give it to officers, to give it to the dog? I haven't seen anything like that happen. This is just all very, very strange. It does give that feeling, right, Bianca? Bianca says, I feel like Idaho 4, like it's a cover-up for something way bigger. Obviously, not the same type of crime or anything as Idaho 4 that we know of, but it's that feeling of, we already see big missteps by officers in the very, very beginning. We see a lot of busy work, but is it work? We see a lot of just busy. Look, is this the first time we've got an actual helicopter in the air? I know we've got drones and stuff out there, but why would they not do a grid search for any piece of evidence? I mean, Nancy could have, I don't know, maybe she had a couple rings on her fingers and she's dropping them as a trail. You never know. Why are they not doing a grid search? And how come the gravity drops or the blood droplets on the front porch, how come they're contained just to right there? They're not down the sidewalk and into a vehicle. They're just on that front porch, like a staging. Super odd. Pumpkin says there has to be some cameras in the neighborhood. All the houses now have cameras. Yeah. Absolutely. Especially a neighborhood like this, I would think many of them would have cameras. Sherry says there's no street lights, so if the neighbors had cameras, they'd have to have night vision cameras. Now, I'm not really hip on like the newest cameras or what kind of cameras people have out there. I thought a lot of them did do night vision and they just kind of come that way now. I guess it depends what kind of system you have and how it records. But I thought most cameras did like a night vision thing. Or else really, what would be the point of having them, in my opinion? I mean, when I think crime, I think dark when it's night. You know, people are using the darkness to shield their identity, you know? Like Batman. Yeah, they said no street lights. That's actually the second time that I've heard that there's no street lights. Oh, yeah. Thrive says they're all over $1 million homes. Absolutely. Why would you not? I mean, anybody who can afford a camera. If you can afford $1 million house, you surely have a dang camera. I mean, I don't have $1 million house, but I sure have a camera. Accessible Gardening says, and I heard the blood was just inside the door too. So I remember hearing that there was blood inside the house. I just don't think we got much of a description as far as how much, where it was, what type of pattern, what. I just don't understand how it's on the porch, but it just stops right there. I mean, what? Was she bleeding from her nose and somebody gave her a towel? Well, that's a nice kidnapper. I mean, did they test the blood? Do they know it's Nancy's blood? Or was Nancy able to grab a knife real quick and cut one of them? Who knows? Did they even test that? No one's talking about the flat cameras. I've heard that on Lana's channel quite a bit lately about flat cameras, which you would think they'd have it, right? So I'm not understanding why we don't have any information on how she got out of the neighborhood with nobody seeing anything or no information on it. Let's check in with JLR real quick, see what he's got going on.
That's a Univision. They're nice people. Those two are nice people. I've been speaking to them periodically. Oh, you're good. So what we're going to do is, I know a couple days ago, probably many of you were in this chat, but what we're going to do is we're going to walk around at night when it gets dark for new people, just to show you just how dark it is. So I would say in the next 40 minutes or so, it will be pretty black out here, pitch black. 15 minutes, sun goes down. I'd say a half hour later.
Let me mute him real quick. I'm gonna share this little short here of Savannah real quick. I was watching a news thing earlier and they kept calling her Samantha and it was driving me dang nuts.
Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare.
She looks so much like her mom here. I see Nancy in her so much right here.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers.
Now, I know she's got to be on TV and making statements and stuff, but if you notice, she did take the time to put some makeup on. I'm not sure I'd be worried about makeup if this was my mother. Just an observation.
And the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers, and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working.
That's a strange statement to make. We believe our mom is still out there. Well, of course she's still out there. I mean, but she's not saying we think she's alive, or we think she's out there alive, or we think she's out there deceased, or we think she's still out there. Well, of course she is. Whether she's alive or not is a different question. I found that a strange statement. Elizabeth says, hi, everyone. Yes, they did test the blood at the front door, and it is Nancy's. Thank you, babe. Appreciate that. And thank you for being here. Oh, Deception Detective just released a video on Savannah's video. Is it a long one, Anonymous? We can check it out.
Tirelessly around She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
That's that. Let's take a look at, I'll move this one over. Let me exit out of this one. I'm going to share this screen. Dun, da, da, da. This one was 2 minutes ago, and it's 8 minutes by Deception Detective. Let's check it out.
Tirelessly around the clock, trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you.
That's the latest update from Savannah Guthrie about her missing mother, Nancy Guthrie, and it's very different than all the others. So in today's video, let's break it down.
Christina says, I can't figure out why 2 deadlines. Why? I can't either. It seems strange. Why Thursday? But, oh, wait. If you can't make it by Thursday, that's okay. Because we'll give you Monday, too. I don't get it. Why not be pushy and say Thursday, that's it. And then whatever happens, happens. If they don't get the money, then say, look, you got one last chance Monday. But why 2 right off the bat? I don't understand that either. You're right, Christina. I'm with you on that one. Whoops. Where did it go?
Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel exposes lies and manipulation. So if that's your thing, hit subscribe. For early access to new videos, over 60 exclusive videos, and other cool perks, consider becoming to Instagram about an hour ago is very different. So let's watch it and break it down as we go.
We have breaking news. We have just received a brand new video from Savannah Guthrie as we are a little over an hour away from one of the deadlines in the letter for this ransom payment. We're getting it ready. We are about to play it for you in just a moment. But I can tell you that in it, she says, we need your help. And we're going to play this for you as soon as we get it turned around.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
I do not pay for premium, guys. We know this.
Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts.
I left in that bit of context from Fox News because it's important. Savannah uploaded this video wanting to just share a few thoughts right before the deadline of one of the most credible ransom demands for her mother, which implies some sort of knowledge or at least high confidence that's a fake ransom demand, and I agree. I think all the demands they've received so far are from hoaxers. And if you've seen my other videos in this series, which I'll link below, you'll know why. But Savannah...
That's an interesting thought, that all of them are not real. All of the deadlines are not real. Kat says the only reason why a group would kidnap someone is for blackmail. No, I don't know. Again, just thinking out loud. I mean, blackmail's a really good thought, right? But from who and for what? Is it somebody that knows the family, but this is in relation to Savannah and she just doesn't know it? Or is this in relation to Annie's husband or son? Or Annie herself. Jesus, Bianca, look at you. Turtle. 10 turtles. Holy macaroni. Thank you so much, girl. Who got it? False Star, Life of Riley, Brandon, Jake Ross, Buffalo Chick, R. Henry, Dollface, Hottie, Brooke, and Ulsterman. Cool. Thank you so much. You're the sweetest. All right, let's get back into Deception Detective real quick.
I think reveals even more knowledge in this video than she realizes. So let's keep watching.
I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help.
In her earlier video, Savannah said that she believes her mother is out there and alive. Now she's just saying that she thinks her mother's out there. And I don't know if that's just because
Oh, this guy's a professional, and I just said the same thing he said. I have not seen this either.
she's been told it's very likely her mother is dead by now, or that she has knowledge of it. It's also notable that she's now asking for the public's help in finding her mother. Remember, before this was treated as a kidnapping, Savannah and her siblings were making videos addressed to the kidnappers, not the general public. And I think the implication is that Savannah no longer considers this a stranger kidnapping, at least not a kidnapping for ransom. Which brings us to the biggest, most glaring difference between this video and the others. Let's continue watching and see if you can spot it.
Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock, trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation. And we need your help.
You don't need to be a statement analyst or deception detective to realize that Savannah's speaking on behalf of her siblings, but they're nowhere to be found. And I think that's a big deal, because the main reason I think that Savannah is innocent, even if I'm not certain about her siblings, is because of her statements. Even when they're with her, she's the only one saying all the correct things according to my missing person presser checklist. Savannah was the only one who consistently addressed the kidnappers until now, which is why I think she has knowledge that this was not a stranger kidnapping. Savannah was the only one who consistently addressed her mother in the videos until now, which is why I think she has knowledge to the contrary, unfortunately. And she's the only one consistently putting herself out there asking for help, whether it's prayers or tips from people who aren't even in Arizona. That's the desperation I expect from innocent people. And in case you missed my first video in this series, here's the...
But is it Savannah also the only one talking? Is it because she's the one with the money and they think that this is for money, and so they're having Savannah talk because she's the one with the money? That could be a point too.
Rest of the items on my missing person presser checklist. I'm not talking about any of the other family members when I say this, but I don't think Savannah Guthrie is involved because of what she said in that ransom message. As I said, she met all the criteria of my missing person presser checklist, which we've used in many of the cases we've analyzed on the channel, mostly missing child cases, and that's because innocent people tend to do 7 things when one of their family members goes missing. First of all, they talk about the missing person in present tense because they don't know whether they're alive or dead. Second, they're cooperative, so if the police or media ask them questions, they answer fully and candidly, like Savannah Guthrie is doing, whereas guilty parties typically choose their words more carefully and are usually more vague and reticent. Third, innocent parties are inconclusive about what happened if there's no evidence to suggest one scenario.
So Savannah has met all of the 7 things on the checklist. So she speaks in present tense, that her mom is still here. She's cooperative with police and media and everything. She is inconclusive as far as what's happened. My mom is still out there. We don't really know what's going on type of thing. She addresses the kidnapper in the videos. She asks for help from the public, and she asks for a call to action for officers, the public. There's also a reward. I believe it's a $50,000 reward. Not sure why it's not more than $50,000 if she does have enough money to pay the ransom. Why not just make the reward $6 million? Would you have a better chance of somebody letting her go to get the reward and pretend like they didn't do it? Are they that dumb? I don't know. Elizabeth says the brother-in-law and daughter, Annie, are the ones who brought her home that late evening. They were the very last ones to see her, you guys. Now, I heard on one channel, it was a news station, and I heard that they got into a heated discussion about finances that night. I do not have any idea if that is true or not, but I heard it on a large news channel that they did get in a heated discussion about finances that night. So, speculation, could be not true. I have no idea, but I did hear that.
Over another. In this case, there appears to be some evidence that Nancy was kidnapped, even if the police haven't shown it to the public. So I don't blame Savannah Guthrie and her relatives for treating it as a kidnapping. Which brings me to the fourth item on the checklist. If a kidnapping is also on the table, I would expect the family members to look into the camera and beg any kidnappers or anyone who might have seen something to come forward. And if the missing person is old enough to watch the TV themselves or browse the internet, I would expect them to address that person directly too. There's opportunists and scammers muddying the waters trying to claim some of the money. But if I had to bet right now, I'd say that someone close to the family might be involved. It might be a hoax, but I doubt Savannah Guthrie herself is involved.
I think the same. I absolutely think the same.
Even if she didn't write that script herself and probably had an expert help her do it, she still read the words and asked for that help. So that's my missing presser checklist, and it's served us very well over the years. And the fact that Savannah is no longer addressing her mother through the camera like she was before is one of the reasons I think the FBI has given her high confidence or even knowledge that her mother is no longer alive. I also think that's why she's no longer addressing the kidnapper, but instead is addressing the general public, asking for tips and help, because the FBI has convinced her or even proven to her that the ransom demands she received were hoaxes. And
I'm curious how much time somebody gets for sending a fake ransom, right? Like, the person didn't take Nancy or do anything to Nancy. They just made a fake ransom note. I'm curious how much time somebody gets for that. I know it depends on, your background and if you've got prior crimes and things like that. I'm just curious, a general, what kind of sentence that would carry. Let's check in with JLR one more time.
I was just speaking to somebody. Look what somebody gave me. So I got some information about some school right here called the Basis of Oro Valley. I got some information about somebody that knows somebody. Who goes? What's going on at Basis Oro Valley? Somebody came out specifically to give me some info. I won't reveal my source, obviously, but what I was told is like, there's a lot of buildings around that school, like abandoned buildings and a lot of like places around the school. And they're like, I wonder if law enforcement checked these buildings around the school. So I'll just leave it at that.
Probably not. If they haven't even brought a dog in, they're probably not checking abandoned buildings. Have they even checked the Airbnbs houses or homes that are in this neighborhood? Why are we not knocking on every single door with sniffer dogs? I don't get it, guys. I'm not understanding. This is very sad for Savannah and her family and all the people in the family not involved. I think a lot of us might have the same feelings that somebody close is involved, possibly something to do with Annie, her husband, her son. Speculation, our opinion, everything's alleged. But so I just wanted to kind of go over this with you guys, check in with you guys on the Guthrie case. I'm going to run a few errands before I have to hop on, I love to hop on with Crimes After Dark here in about 45 minutes. So don't forget, we will be talking Idaho tonight on Crimes After Dark. So you do get your daily dose of Idaho as well from us. But this is what we have so far with the Guthrie case. I will update you if we hear anything about a ransom being paid or not paid, or if Nancy shows up or what happens here. We will keep staying on the Guthrie case until we have some sort of outcome. Wanted to share one more thing with you guys. Bronx's buddy of the day. Do. This is Bruin. This is Four Hens' baby. Bruin is a rescue baby. Bruin is a Boston. Bruin had a really, really terrible life for a very long time, and he now has the most wonderful life ever and is really starting to come out of his shell. We love Bruin. And this is Bronx's buddy of the day. He's so cutie with a Bruin baby boy. they have not paid the ransom as of yet that we know of. So we'll keep you updated as far as what we hear, if it's paid, if it's not paid, whatever happens. We'll keep checking in with JRL and his live. If a press conference comes on, then, if a press conference comes on, then I'll probably jump on, probably play it live or something. But other than that, so far, this is the Guthrie case. Join us in about 45 minutes over on DA's, over on this channel, because I stream it too. So if you guys are free, come back in about 45 minutes for some more Idaho. Thank you for the gifted memberships, Bianca and On Top X, for the donation and the super. We appreciate all of you. Do something nice for yourself today. Be kind, but more importantly, be kind to the animals. Everybody have a wonderful 45 minutes until I see you again. Or if you can't come back, I understand. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We love you all, and we'll